Look at these messages I sent in 2021. I've been dreaming of putting sheet music into smart glasses for years. This project sits squarely at the intersection of engineering, piano, and glasses, which means it's basically a bingo card for Asian stereotypes, but that aside, it's been a project that I've genuinely wanted to do for so long, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how I did it. Let's start with the why. The main one is portability. Sheet music isn't that portable. I'm not going to carry around a tome of sheet music with me like some sort of magician.
So I'm a musician. What the fuck that mean? Make magic or something?
My iPad is a slight improvement, but it's still pretty heavy and bulky. Not something I would carry around every day. Finally, my phone is probably the best current option, but let's be real, my nerd neck is already bad enough. As is, I don't need to be playing piano like this. Now imagine a pair of glasses that just holds all your sheet music. They could double as sunglasses, and they weigh next to nothing. Plus, if your notes are in your glasses, then you can look wherever you want. At your hands, at the audience. Hell, the audience doesn't even know you're reading sheet music. They just think you have it all memorized and you just have bad eyesight. So that's the why. As for the how, well, I have an engineering degree. If my degree taught me anything, it's that all you need is ChatGPT and some perseverance and you can build anything. The reason I hadn't invested in this project before was that I didn't really want to spend hundreds of dollars on the hardware without knowing if I could actually make something usable. For me to stop being lazy and to actually get started on this project, I needed the stars to really align. There had to be some sort of hackathon where they just give you smart glasses, and if you build a cool app, then you get to keep the glasses. And of course, it has to be in the Bay Area because that's where I live, and there's just basically no way that life gives you.
In the last 6 weeks,
We flew from Shenzhen to SF.
I dropped out of MIT.
I quit my job.
We got funded by Y Combinator.
And today, we're releasing AugmentOS 1.0.
This is Mentra. They're a startup backed by Y Combinator, which is one of the biggest startup accelerators in the world. They're hosting this exact hackathon that I described, and so I applied, got in, packed up some gear, and drove to San Francisco, determined not just to win the smart glasses, but to turn my vision into a reality. At Mentra's office, I met the other participants, got my glasses, and I just started hacking. Let me explain how the system works real quick. These are third-party glasses, running a custom operating system made by Mentra called AugmentOS. These glasses use Bluetooth to talk to your phone, the phone has an app that talks to Mentra's servers, and then those servers are talking to our laptops for the day of the hackathon. On our laptops, we get the transcript from the glasses microphone as input, and then we can output text, or importantly, bitmaps to the glasses. So I just need to build a bridge between sheet music and bitmaps. I started by downloading the sheet music in the Music XML format. In the same way that HTML describes what a website looks like, Music XML describes what sheet music looks like. And I knew that having this format that's rich with information would allow for more flexibility than, say, a PDF. From there, I used the Music21 Python library to render chunks of the music into images. I downscaled these images, converted them to bitmap using Pillow, which is just a Python image library, and then optimized the bitmap file sizes with ImageMagick, which is another well-known command line tool. I'm glossing over the details because half of you are asleep already, but figuring out all the little bugs in the conversion steps was really most of the work, and dealing with that frustration, I would argue, is what it means to be a software engineer. After a few hours, I had my first bar of sheet music inside the glasses, and I wished I was recording when the founder put my glasses on for the first time because he was seriously impressed. I plugged in the foot pedals that I had brought, and by the end of the first day, I basically had a minimal viable product. There was some latency on the glasses, and I'll talk more about that later, but I was pretty happy. I ran Bad Apple on the glasses as a victory lap, and then headed home for the night. On the second and last day of the hackathon, I noticed a problem. Because I had downscaled the sheet music so much, some of the stems on the notes were starting to disappear. So basically I needed a way to bold those stems so that they wouldn't disappear. In school, we learned about this image processing operation called dilation. Dilation basically makes everything that is white in a black and white image dilated or bigger. The problem is that we don't really want everything to be bigger. We want just the vertical lines to be bigger. There was this aha moment I had where I remembered how dilation actually works, where basically you use a kernel, which is just this small area, and you slide it across the original image. And then you calculate at each position what the maximum value inside the kernel is. Is there any white inside the kernel, basically? If there is, then the output image has white. Otherwise, it's black. And so, if you have a square kernel, which is the default, anytime you get close to something white, the white pixel becomes the maximum inside the kernel, and you get this white outline. To bold only the vertical lines, all I needed was a kernel that was only in the horizontal direction. So when you're next to the vertical line, it gets triggered, but when you pass over it or under it, then there's nothing, or over and under some other object, then there's nothing. Honestly, Claude or ChatGPT probably could have come up with a solution, but I was really proud that I had remembered something from school and applied it and solved my problem. After fixing that issue, I started working on some other stuff. My teammate, who I haven't mentioned yet, was doing similarly well working on some guitar apps. We made like 6 different apps in 2 days, which, most of them were simple, but I think that still goes to show how easy everything was.
I made smart glasses that help you stay locked in. Lock-in mode activated.
Hey Sean, did you see that sports game with that sports guy in it?
Oh yeah, I love sports. When they scored the goal, lock in.
Suddenly, it was judging time. Everyone got together to show off their apps, and there were some seriously cool demos. The judges went off to a different room to deliberate, and then they came back. Third place was announced. Wasn't us. Second place was announced. Also wasn't us. I've been in this situation before where the podium starts to fill up, and I start to wonder if it's really me in that last spot. It would almost be a comfort to know that I was second or third place, because then at least I would know sooner that I got the glasses. It's almost like a dilation kernel in that way. If none of the spots are you, then you get nothing. But if you are in that last spot, if you do get first place, then you get everything. And we did. We won. This is the happiest anyone's ever been about winning glasses. Show catalog. Next. Select. Obviously, these glasses aren't where I want them to be yet, but you gotta start somewhere. What excites me is that this is the worst the technology is ever gonna get. Mentra and a bunch of other companies are working super hard to make smart glasses more reliable, faster, cheaper, high resolution, lower latency, all that good stuff, and I'm definitely gonna be monitoring their progress. I guess my question to you is, what technology do you wish existed, and what's stopping you from making it? We live in this crazy time where you can just ask an AI anything and reach out to anyone across the world, and it feels like you don't have to sit idly by waiting for technology to improve. You can be the one to improve it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the future is bright. I can't wait to see it. Probably not through these though. I don't like how I look in round glasses. Whatever.
Should we jam a little bit?
Sure.
Try it out?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna carry around a tome of sheet music like I'm some sort of magician. Fuck. My life gives you lemons. Oh! Okay, that was pretty good.